wrong about him, Will.
You're wrong about him, Alana. You see the best in him. I don't.
They think I'm weird.
I'm much weirder than you will ever be, Michael. It's fine to be weird.
I felt a quiet sense of power.
Good.
Jesus Christ, dog. All right, episode 7. Let's get straight into it.
I was with Hannibal all night, Jack.
My name is Miriam Last. I'm with the FBI.
Oh, Miriam.
Ripper recorded Miriam Last 2 years ago.
Jack, I was so...
2 years. Wow, Miriam. 2 years. It's making sense how Jack and Hannibal got into that fight in episode 1. Which was a bold choice by the creators to put that there. She's been there for 2 years. Is she gonna remember him? That it's Hannibal? This is so heartbreaking, but it just made me remember whatever is his face from Silence of the Lambs. He also put the girls in a well, kind of like that, and asked them to lotion up.
Here I am. I can't see anything. I was so wrong. I was so wrong. I don't want to die like this.
Torture. Oh, Miriam.
Thank you. I knew you'd never stop looking.
Say something, Jack.
Can I see him?
Him?
We haven't caught the Ripper.
He's still...
We need your help, Miriam. You know who he is.
Does she remember?
No, who he is. I don't remember finding him.
Yeah, she was just in Hannibal's office.
I remember a dream about drowning and then being awake. I'd wake up to the smell of fresh flowers and the sting of a needle. I was reckless with my life.
I saw what I needed in you, and I used you.
He treated me very well. Until the end, until he put me in the ground. He told me what he was going to do. I went to sleep, woke up, it was gone.
Wow.
He said he wanted to give it to you.
Confirmed. I mean, you already knew this.
Defy him.
I could hear his voice. I couldn't see his face. All I could see...
silhouettes. Now I'm wondering, did he do something to her to make her like remember her last few memories? You know what I'm saying? Because like she does remember going to his office and finding the picture when she had that realization, right? But she's mentioning he drowned her, or she remembers drowning or what. So I'm wondering if Hannibal did something to her. I don't know. You know how sometimes when people get a concussion, they can forget like the last 24 hours or something like that. So I'm wondering if those things he did to her was to make her like forget some things. Because again, he must have done something, because if he left that trace for her to be found, then he's not stupid to like, I mean, if she remembers everything, he probably wouldn't have let her go. Isn't that the reason he caught her in the first place? Because she came too close?
Why didn't he kill you, Miriam? Why were you spared?
I wasn't spared. He was saving me for last.
What's going on here?
A survivor. The only victim of the Chesapeake Ripper who lived to tell.
Is this witness watching me now?
Yes.
Seems I am the usual suspect. This witness must not be able to identify the Ripper by sight.
Look at him.
I want them to hear my voice, otherwise I'd be in here alone. I appreciate your company.
He's so smooth with it. She's not gonna be able to identify him, huh?
It's not him. He's not the Ripper.
How though? How? Gus, stop jumping on me like that. You gotta come slow, my boy. Slow.
This is very sudden.
The federal prosecutor dropped all charges since you were not convicted of killing.
Wow, Will is coming home.
So your sentencing to this institution is null and void.
That's all his plan. It has to be. Now, how does Alana feel about this?
Confess, Frederick. Might be the only thing saves your life.
Confess to what?
Confess to bonding with Hannibal Lector over your shared practice of unorthodox therapy.
Exactly.
You're next.
I unburden myself.
Confession is good for the soul.
Wow, Will is a free man.
You need a ride?
Wow.
We found Miriam last, alive.
So many changes. This.
I had given up on her, and I gave up on you too. I thought she was dead. And I gave up on trying to find her.
Accountability.
You didn't have to find me, Jack. You just had to listen to me. That definitive enough for you?
Hell no.
No, it wasn't.
Go do your thing, Will. I hope you still got it.
The Ripper has been using it since that time.
The hell is this Dutch angle? I didn't even imagine like the thought of like, oh yeah, Will is gonna be free now. I was so consumed by just seeing Miriam and everything I was feeling about Hannibal in the last episode. My goodness. Will is back to work with a functioning brain, might I add. Beverly.
It's Beverly Katz's blood. He was found in the other cistern. The water in his lungs is what led us here.
Catch a fish once and it gets away. Harder to catch a second time.
Let's go, Will. Let's go, Will. Use them spidey senses. We're going back to the beginning. In the office.
All of this.
Very long chain.
It's theater. Ripper didn't bring Miriam here to kill her. He brought her here for you to find. He wants you to catch someone who wanted you to catch me. In all this evidence, you will find something that will lead you away from Hannibal Lector.
Interesting.
Can't trust any of this to be what it seems.
Will brings such an interesting point of what I was kind of like talking about earlier. That why can't Miriam, like, did he do something to her? You know, because obviously he have things set in place for Miriam not to, you know, reel it all back to him. And Will just said it perfectly, like 2 years is a long time to have Hannibal in your head. You know, who knows all the things he did to her head. I mean, with Hannibal, sometimes it's never a simple answer. Daddy is back.
Welcome home.
Thank you for looking after them.
Happy to see you. What was wrong about you?
Because you didn't believe me? Or in me? A sense of reality?
Because you tried to kill Hannibal. You're wrong about him, Will.
You're wrong about him, Alana. You see the best in him. I don't.
I was gonna say, like, I wasn't expecting her to run into his arms because I don't think she ever hated him for all the murders because she believed he didn't commit them in his right mind or could even remember them. But for sure, him sending someone after Hannibal, I think that was her biggest, like, heartbreak from him. I love that she mentioned that. And still protecting Hannibal. Like, Hannibal has her soul lost in the sauce, unfortunately. And I think it's because of what Will just said, like, she sees the best in him, the way she always wants to see the best in people. And that's not something I'm ever going to fault, honestly. Maybe she's not skeptical enough, but at the end of the day, we're dealing with Hannibal, like #1 chief manipulator.
Are you going to try to hurt Hannibal again?
For me or for you?
Will is too good. He knows, and now he's worried for her.
I suggest you stay as far away from Hannibal Lector as you can.
It took Will 2 seconds to know what was up.
You wish to be helpful expediting Hannibal Lecter's arrest.
I have consulted with the FBI on previous Ripper murders. I should be assigned an FBI escort. I would like to remain not dead for the foreseeable future. Techniques on Miriam last that he used on Will Graham. He buried memories in both of them. Shoulder.
Miriam is not okay, man. Is Will gonna meet her? Oh.
You an FBI agent?
No. 2 days ago, I was an inmate at the Baltimore State Hospital for the criminally insane. You don't remember much about what the Ripper did to you. I couldn't remember either. Not all of it, pieces. He used some kind of light, created blackouts, and lost time.
She remembers lights.
I remember the light.
You're waking now.
And his voice, low and even, would pull me to him.
Waking.
This guy.
You and I are part of his design.
Gosh.
He wanted me to be free too.
That is so interesting. He wanted both of them to be free at the same time. Nah, I don't like theorizing. He wanted them to be free at the same time. All part of his design.
Same unfortunate aftershave.
Will.
Too long in the bottle.
Oh?
I'd like to pick up where we left off.
Shoot him twice in the leg. Will, all this is f***ing long talk, dog. Let me hold you right there. You have a gun. You have this motherfucker dead to rights. Put 2 shots in his leg. Handcuff him. Search the house. Find all the evidence that Beverly was finding. And call the cops. End of story. No need for a monologue. No need for nothing. Pop a cap on his ass, man. See, that's that shit. But then the season will be over here at episode 7 and we won't have season 3. Am I tripping? Like, put a couple of shots, non-lethal shots in him, handcuff him, let him bleed out there a little bit. Call the cops. You know all the evidence will be in this house somewhere. My guy going on a monologue, dog, like, he ain't playing.
You were asking me if it would feel good.
Oh, yes, baby.
How would killing me make you?
He is not joking.
How did Miriam last find you? You made sure no one could find you that way again.
If I'm not the Ripper, you murder an innocent man. Better than anyone know what it means to be wrongly accused.
Shoot him.
Don't you want to know how this ends?
What kind of is this, Will? I get it. Will wants to know what makes him tick. Why him? Why her? But dog, you don't have to kill him. Meet him in the middle. Take his legs out. Take his kneecaps out. Like...
I would have been happy to come to your office, Jack.
I understand. I wanted to do this here.
I must be well on my way to a successful recovery.
Wow, he even left the drawings there? Different drawings.
I enjoy portraiture.
It was recorded shortly after you were taken.
My voice?
She don't remember? If she has no memory of this...
Please, Jack, I don't want to die like this.
She doesn't recognize this?
I don't remember it.
Would you like to try? You're waking now. Waking in a pleasant room. Open your eyes.
It's Miriam.
Tell me where you are.
I don't know where I am.
Jack.
That would be so wrong. Jack, please. I don't want to die like this.
God, I would be so mad if Jack is not at least taking a mental note of this. Because yes, he's trying to make her recover. But whatever Jack is witnessing right now, I hope he's taking a mental note that this might be the same thing that took her memories away. I think I'm worrying for nothing. Jack is far too smart not to take a mental note, and who knows, maybe what he's doing right now is like driving her mind deeper into that sunken place. But to anybody observing, he's helping her. You can never trust this guy, man.
The wounded man.
We found a fingerprint on a flower petal, a partial, smudged.
Is hers.
Hannibal Lector.
After all these murders, the Ripper's gonna leave a print now. We also found sodium amytal and scopolamine in Miriam's blood.
Dr. Chilton used scopolamine.
You got the right. Gideon pointed me at Chilton. Told me that he was the...
Really?
Bring them both in.
I bet Hannibal is in your house. So what, he's trying to frame Chilton? What the hell is gonna be down there? Who is that?
Hello, Frederick.
Wow.
Oh my God. That would be the FBI.
He's gonna answer the door in his... Wow. Wow. What did he conjure this time? Himself? Whose blood is that? Hannibal's, right? Jesus, the FBI agents. And of course he tried to run away. And now when Mariam takes a look at that, she's gonna believe that he is the... Cause what can you even do at that point if you're Frederick? Like such an elaborate setup. What can you even do? Deny it? He even put Gideon in his basement.
Gideon hasn't been dead for long. No more than a couple of hours. Chilton's been carving his steaks off him for days.
The Ripper's sixth victim. Chilton was consulting on the Ripper case when Miriam disappeared. She must have talked to him, made the connection. Beverly made a connection too.
Wow.
Access to case files. He would know everything the Ripper would need to know.
He got y'all, man.
That's Hannibal Lector. Medical and psychological background. We are both doctors of note. Hannibal was never going to kill me. I'm his patsy.
If you run, you look guilty.
You did not run and you look plenty guilty.
I'm gonna prove Hannibal Lecter is the Chesapeake Ripper.
I know you will. Then when you do,
I'll come back
from a secure location and I will reintroduce myself to society. At that time,
they're already here. Did Will call the cops? Will, you Will called them, didn't they? Didn't he?
What have you done? No. No! 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 Stay there!
You're not a killer, Frederick.
You're not a killer, Frederick.
Told you, everything is not what it seems. The Chesapeake Ripper is still playing with us, all of us. He's got a gun.
Good.
What's gonna happen now? Chilton, just stay. You won't make it far. So his whole walking stick was an act. Does this look like the Ripper to you? Jack, don't do something stupid. Yeah, Jack, does that look like the Ripper to you? Come on now.
One black leather billfold containing $443, various credit cards.
Not like you to hide an achievement.
the achievement is not mine.
Who's gonna believe him?
You cannot see it, and you will not see it until it is too late. Don't say
This is true.
Dr. Bloom, you're waking now. Waking. Calm.
Of course, Mariam is gonna confirm that is him. This Hannibal is such a bitch. They are all part of his design. They're all part of his design. Mariam being found, Gideon being adopted, Frederick being framed, and now Frederick being taken out. Of course, he always finds a way. Christ, dear Lord. How did he plant that into me? Oh, stupid question. He always finds a way. It was all part of the design. And now Chilton can defend himself if there was even any defense. And Jack just witnessed how his voice triggered Mariam to the point of throwing her life away by shooting him in the face. It's all in his design. That's why he saved Mariam. Saved her for last. R.I.P. Gideon. I say Gideon. R.I.P. Frederick. And this is here sipping wine. Will?
Hello, Will.
Oh.
I come in.
Will got a haircut.
Do you intend to point the gun at me?
Will seems very different. He seems more Hannibal-like.
I have to deal with you and my feelings about you. I think it's best if I do that directly.
The friendship that we had is over. How will you take your life back?
I'd like to resume my therapy.
The f does that mean, Will? He has his friend back now. In his mind.
Where shall we begin?
This, man. Thank God I'm going to the gym after this, man. I need to blow off some steam, dog. Who would have thought that he would frame Chilton of all people? Wow. Wow. Whoa. This episode. I stand on what I said. Will, you should have shot this bitch when you had him in his kitchen. I still stand on that. Of course he wasn't done with Miriam's life. Like Will said, yes, Miriam will be compelled to take his life. Therefore, like, condemning her life. Because of course she's gonna go away for that. Alana is still lost in the sauce because obviously she views Chilton as the Ripper and the mastermind. First of all, Chilton? You're gonna look at him and be like, oh, this is the mastermind? I mean, with all the overwhelming proof, like, it's all part of his design because now he has his bestie back. Because what did Will say to that you and I being free at the same time, we're still part of his design, like he ain't done. And it's like the closer Jack gets to finding out something else happens. The closer he gets, something else happens. Because in a world like this and a situation like this, what can you really believe? Your senses fail you, your principles fail you. Senses in the case of Miriam, or your principle, what you stand for fail you, what you see with your eyes fail you. And obviously they're all very evidence oriented. So like the way Hannibal perfectly planted everything in Chilton's house, they're all part of his design. Man, the creator of this show, the crazy thing is, like, if a lot of shows are even half of what Hannibal is in today's market, they'll be everywhere. My brain is cooked. My brain is absolutely cooked. Absolutely cooked. That's it from me today, man. See y'all in a couple of days or next week, depending, for episode 8 and 9. Let me hear your thoughts in the comments.
A few moments later.
The other day, one of you told me how the first time you watched Hannibal, you were as frustrated as I get when I see Hannibal up to his shenanigans. But now when you watch it second, third time, it's more so just funny to you, seeing how pouty he gets, how he manipulates people and all that. And I pray I reach that stage soon because this man pissed me the off in so many ways. Let's get back into this episode. Check out episode 8 and see what all our favorite people are up to. Thank you all for watching. Shout out to you all, my patrons and people on YouTube. Many thanks. Let's check out Hannibal.
From me or for you? I'd like to resume my therapy.
Oh boy.
I don't trust any of this to be what it seems.
Jack, it's not what it seems.
I get the attraction. In summer.
I don't.
It's a lot harder to catch trout when the water's really cold.
Jack is like me for real, man. Most of my really close friends know that when winter comes around, say your goodbyes to Franklin. Say your goodbyes to Franklin. Franklin is hibernating.
That's another argument for summer, Will.
Yeah, when it's cold, their metabolisms drop and they're not as hungry.
How do you catch a fish that isn't hungry?
Change your tactics. Use live bait that moves and excites them to action. You gotta make him bite.
Therapy session.
You make him act on instinct. He's always a predator.
Your lure is the one thing he wants, despite everything he knows. I'm a good fisherman, Jack.
Yes, sir.
I'll end.
I love that they're tag teaming this. Hannibal is cooking a fish. That was a funny transition to him cooking fish or gutting a fish. Which is so weird. He never makes fish. Clean ass suit.
Sweet saumon au bleu.
They're both here.
Vegetables and broth, served with a hollandaise sauce on the side. Beautiful fish, Will.
It was my turn to provide the meat.
Let's go. I can't wait for everything coming. This man put emphasis on the meat. It was my turn to provide the meat. Jack look at him like, pipe down now. Don't give it all away. Calm down. There's no way Hannibal doesn't know that they're up to something. Come on now. There's no way he doesn't know.
Trials of his wild existence find their way into the flavor of the flesh. I hope providing the meat doesn't mean you still harbor doubts about what I serve at my table.
No doubts, Dr. Lecter. Only the wounds we dealt each other. Till we got to the truth.
Which is why we need to move past apologies and forgiveness. Well, we are all Nietzsche and fish in that regard.
None of our actions were personal.
You thought I was a killer. The greatest crime now would be to walk away from what we've shared and suffered. In many ways, we need each other. We are the only ones who will know what this feels like.
This fish is delicious.
Isn't it?
Ah, the vibes, man. I love it.
Came in this morning and I found all the horses with hoods on.
Hello?
Did a foal 2 days ago? Yeah, I was born dead. She hasn't eaten since. Pining, I guess.
Holy.
Feels like she's still pregnant.
Oh my God. What is inside that horse?
Who performed this C-section?
The f is inside that horse?
Yeah, there's something in here, all right.
I agree with the pagans. The horse is divine.
This kind of mutilation usually presents as cult activity.
Sacrifice is presumed the power of the beast will be psychically transported to whoever's offering up the goods.
Sacrificial animals should be healthy. This horse was sick.
The victim was deceased before she was in wound. Tissue is consistent.
She was strangled. It's a little wordy.
She was scrappy. She put up a fight, Jack.
God.
A new life. This is a birth. Oh, it was intended to be.
Interesting.
This killer doesn't think like anyone else, Jack. You'll have to find someone who doesn't think like anyone else to catch him.
Will? Ass. He wants to bring Will back into it.
You should have taken the chocolate, Margot.
The hell? Who is this? Okay. Her tears?
You're no more at fault for what happened to you than if you had been bitten by a mad dog.
Mad dogs are put down.
Is that what you hoped to accomplish when you attacked your brother?
Oh.
He's still alive.
Doing bad things to bad people makes us feel good. What's your relationship with him now? Has it changed?
Interesting.
He thinks I've calmed down.
Have you?
Oh, I'm calm.
Are you going to try again?
Sometimes when this show throws some things at me, I'm like, did I miss an episode? The way he's talking to this woman feels so familiar. Is she another potential freaking student slash friend slash whatever he seeks in people? You know, there's kind of a familiarity he talks to her with.
This is where therapy gets a little tricky. I could confess to a murder. You can't say a word. But if I'm planning to commit a murder...
I'm ethically obliged to take action to prevent that murder. It would actually have been more therapeutic if you had killed him.
This always encouraging it. Is that Alana? That's Hannibal. Damn.
Part of me suspects we ended up here to avoid where our conversation was going.
Oh?
As long as you're not complaining.
The only thing stranger than finding a woman inside a horse is seeing you back in therapy with Will Graham.
Is it really so strange?
Yes.
You know why Will tried to kill me? It wasn't to avenge Beverly Katz's death. He was protecting you in the only way he felt he had left to him.
Isn't it crazy that intimacy kind of creates so much grounds for manipulation? That's the only thing that's ringing through my head now, because that is not why Will tried to kill him, is it? Because at that time, Will was unaware of Alana's proximity to Hannibal. Will tried to kill him because Will took, what's his name? Abel Gideon's advice about like, you have to be the monster you want to destroy, right? But right now, I feel like he's just like trying to manipulate Alana. Because what does that do for her? Like, make her feel something towards Will because he would go that far to save her life? Like, why is he with her head too? At least that's where I am right now.
I'm afraid Will opened a door inside himself. No one knows if it closed again, especially not Will.
And it's healthy he's back in therapy with a good psychiatrist.
More intimacy. It's like a sandwich of manipulation and bull.
Oh! I'll test the pH levels. See what kind of organic matter or trace elements we come up with.
God.
Came from? She has a heartbeat.
What? She's in rigor mortis.
She doesn't have a pulse.
Is there something alive in there?
She has a heartbeat.
What?
Something's beating.
What in the fuck's sake of freaking Russian doll is going on here? Something is in her. She was in the horse. No comments, dog. No comment. Look at Will with his clean outfits. Alright, do your thing, man. Do your thing.
I don't want you to see me. I don't want you to see what I do.
The blindfolds.
There's so much comfort in darkness, but not for one of you.
This show is a different level of crazy.
I took your life and then tried to give it back to you. I find the womb and place you inside. I hope that the forces of death and biology will bring you rebirth.
How? Talk about a Hail Mary.
Decomposition builds up gases inside the putrefying body, which force the dead fetus out of its mother's corpse. It's really more of a prolapse than a birth. Whoever did this knew the horse, knew she was dying because her foal was born dead. He knew Sarah Craver. He was familiar with the stables, knew when he wouldn't get caught. He works here, or he maybe used to work here. He has medical knowledge of animals, but he's not a veterinarian. He considers himself a healer.
How is this healing?
Sarah Craver was reborn. This wasn't murder, Jack. This was grief.
The logic behind all this is baffling, to say the least.
Sir?
Hello?
You don't seem to be curious about who we are.
Who are you?
I'm Agent Jack Crawford with the FBI. This is Will Grant.
Is he gonna fold like the lady in the last episode with the honeycomb? Because the moment she knew they were there, she just said everything. And the moment homeboy over here heard Agent, he's like, yep.
I'm here to ask you some questions about someone you may have had contact with when you worked at the Blackbriar Stables, a woman named Sarah Craver.
Sorry, I just want to say this quickly. Something so interesting about me watching shows that were made 10, 20 years ago is obviously I fall in love with these characters and I look them up, and obviously they're older now. And when I looked up the character that plays Will, I think his name is Hugh, and see him in his 50s now, I think he's 49 or 50, and see his grays and see his wrinkles, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just so like beautiful seeing someone like fast forward, if that makes sense to me. Same thing with characters from The Wire. I've looked up so many characters from The Wire, like Kima, even McNulty, and like see them in their older age, and it's just so interesting seeing them, how they look today. I just loved seeing Will, because yeah, to me, like, this is the only Will I know. This is the only Hugh I know. But like seeing him in like how he looks today, I was like, oh my gosh, like pretty tight. But yeah, let's get back to Horseman.
The body was recently found in unusual circumstances.
I know.
There was a bird in her chest. You heard about that?
Was the bird alive?
What kind of question is that?
Yes.
Who taking care of the bird?
How well did you know Sarah Craig?
I didn't know.
Would you mind looking at a photograph?
I know she is. I didn't know her.
What accent is that?
Take a look to be sure.
Say something, brother. Hello? He don't even want to look at them.
Did you get your head injury when you were working at the stables, Peter?
Yeah, I was kicked by a horse.
It's aggravated by stress, right?
Are you feeling under stress?
Yeah, I'm worried about the bird. I'm sad for her. I'm sad for the horse, but I can only help the bird.
Help the bird?
Oh, he knew the victim. He knew the animals involved.
We'll need a warrant.
I don't know if he's the killer, Jack.
Oh?
One dead creature giving birth to another.
Rebirths can only ever be symbolic.
You've been reborn.
Wasn't that the goal of my therapy?
How does it feel consulting again with Jack Crawford and the FBI? Last time it nearly destroyed you.
The last time you nearly destroyed me.
Oh?
After everything that has happened, Will, you still
Stop
believe?
right there. You may have to pretend, but I don't.
No, you don't. Not with me.
I don't expect you to admit anything. You can't. But I prefer sins of omission to outright lies, Dr. Lecter.
Don't lie to me.
Lie to me.
Cinema. Don't lie to me. Before it was please don't lie to me. But now it's more demanding. It has more gusto. Season 2 Will is different, man. Season 2 Will is different. Look at that smirk.
Will you return the courtesy?
Nah.
Can't just talk to any psychiatrist about what's kicking around my head.
You fantasize about killing me.
Don't lie.
Yes.
Tell me, how would you do it?
Yo, he enjoys this, man. It's like being away for your best friend for like the school season, and now they're back in your hometown. It's like, yes, now he has Will. And one of the first things I was asking myself in season 1 is like, is Hannibal prepping Will to catch him? What are you doing? Is it just the arrogance of like always hinting to people what he's up to, knowing that they can't catch him, or he's always a step ahead? I bet this man is busting right now asking Will, how would you do it? Like, it's almost like he's validated that like Will actually has that dog in him, you know? He's loving this. Even when he told Will, are you gonna return the favor? Like, are you gonna tell me the truth as well? He's like, ooh, little.
With my hands.
Ooh, intimate.
Then we haven't moved past apologies and forgiveness, have we?
We've moved past a lot of things. I discovered a truth about myself when I tried to have you killed.
Oh?
That doing bad things to bad people makes you feel good.
Yes.
I need to know if you're going to try to kill me again, Will.
Yes.
I don't want to kill you anymore, Dr. Lecter.
Oh?
Not now that I finally find you interesting.
Look at that smirk. Boy, this man is in heaven right now. But now I'm curious if this is still part of Will's... Well, yes. I think this is still part of Will's scheme. Because he told Jack, like, use yourself as bait, like, make him come out of his shell and act on instincts even though he's not hungry. So I feel Will offering himself and his interest in Hannibal on a platter is that plan coming to fruition. That's what I'm thinking. Another one? Holy shit. Wow, bodies in the ground.
Will, I owe you an apology.
You don't owe me anything.
I thought you were a killer. I didn't want to hear anything else, so I wouldn't consider anything else.
The evidence was compelling.
Very compelling.
Maybe if she thought we would have listened, she would have come to us. She did.
I love that. Good job.
We found her empty grave and 15 others that are not so empty.
Peter Bernardone knew about Sarah Kraber's grave, and he knew about all the others.
So he dug her up.
Your brother dehumanized you, and your family unfortunately fosters that climate of disrespect.
They think I'm weird.
I'm much weirder than you will ever be, Margot. It's fine to be weird.
Everybody loves a sinner redeemed.
Mm.
He may have made bad choices before, but now he can make new, better choices.
But never the victim.
Do you believe that?
Do you believe me?
Well, it's not my role to believe you, Margot. It's my role to help you understand what you believe.
I believe my brother won't stop.
Mm.
How does it make you feel?
Angry?
Anger is an energizing emotion, prompts action against threat. If you're angry, you're optimistic you can stop this from happening again.
Oh, I know how to stop it.
If you really want to kill your brother, Margot, wait until you can get away with it.
This guy.
Find someone to do it for you.
This guy. This guy. It's like the advice he's given her is like, R.I.P. to Frederick. That was his name, right? Trying to remember his name made me lose the point I was trying to make. Yeah, him and Frederick, they agreed on the unorthodox. And usually your therapist shouldn't tell you what to do, right? Like they'll help you process what you're going through or feeling. But he's always given that gentle pad towards the most devious outcome. The suggestions he's planting in their heads, like so subtly. He's amazing at it.
Said you were worried about the bird?
In the evidence?
I'm not FBI.
Mm.
Didn't kill him.
I know that.
Mm.
It's not always relevant.
Mm. Same with his case.
She's already speaking to me.
This one's spoken to you before.
At some point, almost every society believed birds carried our souls to the afterlife.
You think I think this bird is Sarah?
Part of her.
Tell me who killed her.
I just wanted something beautiful for her.
You were grieving her.
He did it. Not kill her, but...
I wanted you to find me. I wanted you to find me because if you could find me, you could.
Find the person?
Him.
Do you have a shadow, Peter? Someone only you can see. Someone you considered a friend. He made you feel less alone until you saw what he really is.
No.
Wow.
He'll make sure no one will believe me.
I'll make sure they do.
Hey, man. At this point, y'all hear it every episode. The way the villain of the week or the situation of the week always mirror what our main characters are going through is genius. Because at this point, what? We're in episode 8 of season 2. Darn near every single episode, there's been a situation or a person that mirrors what our cast is going through. And it always makes sense. It's always like compelling. It's always like ripe for analysis every single time. They don't miss. They really don't miss. And of course, Will will vouch for him or like be in his corner because like he just went through the same thing with freaking Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Your notes on Peter Bernadone's file are drastically different than the ones from his last caseworker.
Well, the social services system is far from perfect. It's common to omit certain information on difficult cases in order to clear a path in the world for those stuck in the weeds.
You don't seem to feel sorry for your client. A surprising lack of empathy in a social worker.
Peter Bernadone has accused me of killing the 16 women.
Oh.
Right now, I'm feeling inconvenienced. I'm being detained on the word of one very damaged individual.
You're not being detained. You're being interviewed.
Yeah.
What are you writing down?
None of your business.
An observation?
About me?
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel uncomfortable.
Oh.
It's smart. She keeps pushing him on his feelings, not on the facts. She's trying to gauge how comfortable he is with emotion, if he has any. Couldn't bear being touched by her.
Yes, his responses are typical of psychopaths during interviews, but could also be resentment.
Oh, his eyes are dead. He's a predator.
You know Sarah Kraber?
No. Peter talked about her extensively, though, during our house visits. I'd say he was obsessed with her.
Do you think Peter Bernadone is capable of murder?
I'm not a psychiatrist, Dr. Bloom.
I'm curious, Mr. Ingram. Why did you become a social worker?
Talk.
Society needs caring people.
It also needs a few psychopaths.
There's no evidence I did this. And if you'd like to know how I feel like I don't want to be here anymore. So if you're not detaining me, I'd like to be on my way now.
Interesting.
Let him go.
You're making a mistake, Jack.
I've got nothing to hold him on.
Peter Bernardone is psychologically disadvantaged. He's been manipulated. He has betrayed that trust.
Kind of like
You know
Hannibal.
what it's like to point at a killer and have no one listen.
Talk to him. He pointed in the right direction, Jack. Talk to him, Will. All the animals are gone. I bet Hannibal did this. I bet any amount of money Hannibal did this. Well, there's still one cat there. What did he do to those animals, man? Hannibal did this.
What have you done, Peter?
Oh.
I'm worried about you. You've been expressing a lot of rage recently.
Hannibal didn't do this, and now I'm broke.
I see people take out their resentments on those closest to them. It's a sad fact of human nature. And you're prone to extremes of emotion. The way you think is compromised. You're destroying your life. And this is the very horse who kicked you in the head.
Didn't mean to. Just scared.
Poor guy.
16 women, Peter. You killed them because you weren't worthy of them.
You killed him. You killed him.
If I'd killed them, it would be because they were worthy of me.
Jesus Christ. This just sent a chill down my spine because I'm just thinking there gotta be people out there who are social workers or are in some manner of care that their reason for doing it is just like having power over like vulnerable people. Because the tough thing about power is like people who chase it, some people will chase it wherever they can. Like we've heard of doctors and nurses who like take their patients' lives just because like it gave them some kind of power, like they're doing some good for them, you know? And now I'm just up thinking like I bet there are actual social workers out there that like them being able to like provide that aid to like vulnerable adults or vulnerable people give them some sense of like fulfillment or power, but with a negative twist because it's all about their own self validation, not necessarily for what they're doing for the people. But of course, let's leave it to Hannibal to put a twisted spin on it. And he's just using his patient as the very elaborate scapegoats to all his dealings. And like Will said, who's going to believe the person that is already deemed like not intact psychologically, you know, over all the elaborate evidence and the people who are more trustworthy, you know? So he did kill all of them. And yeah, me accusing Hannibal of rape, y'all already know why, man. Hannibal finds a way to just f*** up everything just to see how the freaking cards crumble down, you know? Card drive together.
Do you think if you save Peter Bernardone, you can save yourself?
Save myself from what, Dr. Lector?
From who you perceive me to be?
You?
I'm afraid I need to be saved from who you perceive me to be.
Peter Bernardone lies in the same darkness that holds you.
I'm alone in that darkness.
You're not alone, Will. I'm standing right beside you.
Boy, please. It's so interesting, like Will is not pretending, but Hannibal still is. The stables.
Peter, is your social worker in that horse?
Yes. I used to have a horrible fear of hurting anything. But he helped me get over that.
What?
It feels so abnormal.
An abnormal reaction to an abnormal situation is normal behavior.
I think he deserves to die.
But you didn't deserve to kill him, Peter. I want you to come with me.
Whoa. Curveball. So was this his social worker's design? What happened, Peter?
What was done to you was cruelty.
I think I hate him.
I envy you your hate.
It
makes it easier when you know how to feel.
Makes what easier?
Killing them.
I didn't kill him. Just wanted him to understand what it's like to suffocate and to experience death that he created.
He's still alive in there? What is Hannibal gonna do? You just witnessed a birth.
Mr. Ingram, might want to crawl back in there if you know what's good for you.
Officer, I'm the victim here.
Shut the f up.
I'm not an officer. I'm Peter's friend.
Peter's confused.
I'm not. Pick up the hammer. Pick it up.
Will Graham.
It won't feel the same, Will. It won't feel like killing me.
It doesn't have to.
You did the best anyone could do for Peter. Don't do this for him. If you're going to do this, Will, you have to do it for yourself.
Please.
Jesus Christ.
This is not the reckoning you promised yourself.
He did fire. He did fire. Thank God it was a revolver. When Hannibal is the voice of reason in the room when it comes to killing, have we lost our boy Will? Jesus, the way he stepped in. I think at that point, Hannibal wasn't pretending. That's what I got from that scene. He wasn't putting up the act no more. Like, everything he told Will was real. He's almost surprised that Will did it.
With all my knowledge and intrusion, I could never entirely predict you. I can feed the caterpillar, but hatches follows its own nature and is beyond me.
This is what he wanted. Look at him like a proud father. Do y'all see this? Because this is looking like his end goal, like, or like hinting at it, like trying to push Will to the edge to make him a killer. And we'll get into this point almost like, I feel from what I'm recognizing right now, almost made him so proud. Not almost, it did. And the way he like caressed his head and brought him in, it's like, I'm proud of you, blood of my blood, bone of my bone type of energy. Which is also crazy because what he told, maybe there's no connection or parallel to this, but him saying what Hatch is, has his own nature and is beyond me, made me think about what he was telling that girl, that lady earlier that wanted to kill her brother, that like, you're weird, but I can bet you there's nothing, you will never be as weird as I, you know, because he's the extreme, right? So, but what he just told Will is like, what you are is beyond me. It's almost like giving Will props for being beyond him. Let me nerd out a little bit to make my point. Y'all seen Star Wars, right? Emperor Palpatine freaking grooming Anakin the whole time, right? Palpatine is the shit. Like, he's the Sith. But like everything he saw in Anakin was gonna be greater than him. That's why he like harnessed Skywalker, because Skywalker was gonna be like a greater evil than him. Well, to his own knowledge, Skywalker obviously was the chosen one, right? So I kind of see it in this thing where like Hannibal is almost like Palpatine, like training Anakin, training Will, because he sees that Will can be greater than him even. Because the way he acknowledged Will, and those words like was beyond me. I mean, the beyond me could just be like beyond my wildest imaginations, but like with Hannibal, I think he, at this point, from what I just saw, I think he meant like beyond him, based on the conversation he had with the girl about weirdness. But then again, that might be not a connection and it's just in my head, but that was so proud of Will. Almost a sweet, endearing moment almost, if you look at it from a certain perspective. Boy, every week I tune into this show, and my wife was asking me today, because like y'all know, after Christmas break my schedule has like doubled. I went from 3 TV shows to 5 TV shows, and thankfully the strategy like worked, because like financially and like Patreon wise, shout out to all of you. Even on YouTube, shout out to all of you. Like everything has kind of like doubled. So my wife was asking me today, like, does it ever get like too much? Do you ever get like tired of watching these shows? No. I'm like, no, because like everything I'm watching, like my viewer base and I have just curated everything to the point where like everything we're watching is just gas, you know? So I was telling her, no, like, plus I only watch stuff max 2 hours a day, even though I'm editing and doing all this stuff later. So I was telling her like everything I'm watching is so good that I'm not even, sometimes I wake up some days and I don't feel like necessarily like talking or breaking down things, but once I press play, god damn, This show is every week, man. You just look forward to everything getting progressively better. And the way Mads delivered the caterpillar analogy is so beautiful, so haunting. Yeah, let's head into episode 9.
Which answer is it you want to hear, Will?
What's happening now and about to happen is an answer.
Oh?
I want you to admit what you are.
Must I denounce myself as a monster, while you still refuse to see the one growing inside you?
Ah, checkmate. Oh, Lord. Ha, the dare.
No one can be fully aware of another human being unless we love them. By that love, we see potential in our beloved. Through that love, we allow our beloved to see their potential.
Wow.
Expressing that love, our beloved's potential comes true.
Will said, all that. Will said, all that.
I promised you a reckoning. Here it is.
Wow, dear man. Ooh. That wasn't with your bare hands, Will. You promised us. Who's this poor soul? Is that the omelet he made Will in season 1?
That smells wonderful.
Sacramento omelette with liver and sweetbreads.
Liver?
I used to be afraid of losing my memory. What I wouldn't give to forget a thing or two now.
Jack, you still eating in this man's house? I mean, I guess the evidence against Frederick was astounding, but I would still have some suspicions, man. You still eating at his house?
Memory gives moments immortality, but forgetfulness promotes a healthy mind. It's good to forget. What are you trying to forget, Jack?
Doubt. I let doubt in.
About me?
Doubt is good.
About Will.
I can no longer discuss Will's state of mind with you or anyone else without his consent. Will's officially my patient. He employs me now, not the FBI.
Well, let's hope your therapy works.
Therapy only works when we have a genuine desire to know ourselves as we are, not as we would like to be.
Still eating at this man's house is crazy to me. Uh-oh. What are you gonna run into today? Something I just realized that we never... Oh, like, every villain of the week we never see them doing the killings initially. I just noticed that. Because as I'm watching this, I'm like, oh, is he gonna be attacked? Then I started thinking of all the villain of the week. Like, it's usually start the episode, boom, we're at a crime scene. And we see the monstrosity. And then as the video goes on, as the show goes on, it deconstructs what we're seeing. Have we seen any of the killings initially? I can't think of any off rip. Oh? Are you stuck? Oh boy. Is there something holding the tires? Hello? Is that a vampire? Lestat? Is that you, mate? Man, our boy was gone in that moment.
Do you have any regrets?
With every choice lies the possibility of regret. However, if I choose not to do something, it's usually for a good reason.
To keep you around?
Riddled with regrets.
A life without regret would be no life at all.
I regret what I did in the stable.
Then you were lucky I was there.
Being lucky isn't the same as making a mistake. The mistake was allowing you to stop me.
Whoa.
So it's not pulling the trigger that you regret.
It's not doing it?
It's not pulling it effectively.
That would be more accurate.
You must adapt your behavior to avoid feeling the same way again, Will.
Adapt. Evolve. Become.
Yes.
Jesus. At this point, has Will lost the plot? Because his whole thing was catching the fish, right? Has he, like, gotten lost in the sauce in his plan? Because pulling that trigger, like, obviously don't answer it if it gets explained later. Because that was the whole thing with his conversation with Jack, right? Like, catching the fish again by offering yourself as bait. But what happened at the end of last episode and, like, what Will is feeling now, I'm wondering if this is still part of the act. But then again, if it's part of the act, he couldn't have predicted Hannibal like stopping the bullet or like putting his hand behind the hammer. So now I'm worried Will is lost again, or as it seems, more sure than he's ever been, depending on which perspective you're looking at it from.
I want you to close your eyes. Imagine a version of events you wouldn't have regretted. What did you see?
A missed opportunity to feel
good,
like I felt when I killed Garrett Jacob Hobbs.
He felt happy when he did that.
To feel like I felt when I thought I'd killed you.
And what does that feel like?
Jesus, the close-up, the delivery.
I felt a quiet sense of power.
Good.
Jesus Christ, dog. God felt powerful when he did it. That scene lives in my brain rent-free. Will said, do you think God enjoyed that or felt good? It's like he felt powerful. This close-up is very unnerving. Is that the word? Or is it nerving? And Will said something about like what he would feel when he kills Hannibal. And I'm wondering if that chase of that power will be Hannibal's new manipulation tool. You know, will that be the carrot he dangles in front of Will? You know, because he knows Will wants that more than the air he breathes, right? I just had the realization of not deja vu, something just hit me in the head that what I do is very weird. Like what I do as an occupation right now is very weird. Not weird as in bad, but like it's just something I wouldn't have thought about years ago. So interesting that just flashed in front of my mind right now. It's almost like I just became conscious of it. Hello. Let's get back to Will and Hannibal.
Remember that feeling.
The way he's always encouraging the is.
You must be a patient of Dr. Lector's.
I'm sorry?
You look familiar. I either know you or I know of you.
I'm the guy who didn't kill all those people.
She says, I recognize that look.
We all have a gauge for humanity that twitches when we see other people. Tell me, Margaret, what twitches when you see your brother?
Not my gauge for humanity.
You don't recognize in your brother basic human traits. You dehumanize him as much as he dehumanizes you.
At least I'll never be the worst person I know.
The tendency to see others as less human than ourselves is universal.
My brother is less human.
Damn.
Did you just dehumanize me?
Psychiatrists who dehumanize patients are more comfortable with painful but effective treatments.
I met a patient of yours, Will Graham.
Oh.
Painful but effective treatment you prescribed him.
You have no idea.
What do you imagine?
You're very supportive of me killing my brother, and I appreciate that support, I really do. But I can only imagine what you'd be supportive of Will Graham doing.
Careful.
What kind of psychiatrist are you?
You already had my reputation and bona fides verified. You know what kind of psychiatrist I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm beginning to.
What kind of monster got to this man? Was it a bear?
When there's somebody holding the leash of whatever it is that's doing the killing.
Esophagus is destroyed. The bite almost severed his head.
Whatever it was, it's not afraid of humans. Not anymore.
So I'm thinking a bear or a wolf.
Wolves or bears don't eat where they kill. They'd have dragged him off.
There's no eating here. We're gonna find everything. The viscera is exposed, the belly's laid bare. There's no sign of rutting or gnawing, Jack.
A rabid animal attacks victims at random and doesn't eat any part of them.
He's urbanizing his animal, moving it closer to the city.
Mm-hmm.
Adapting it for bigger prey.
Interesting.
A wolf or a bear?
This is Kevin.
I'm gonna say something about this show that I usually say about The Wire. The Wire has many different storylines and many different characters, and the show is better at any other show I've ever seen at connecting different characters and storylines. So good. And I'm so happy to see Kevin again, because now Will is using Kevin not using in a bad way, is requiring Kevin's expertise the same way Beverly was coming to Will when he was locked up to get his expertise. But not just that, the lady that is Hannibal's second favorite patient just ran into Will. started discussions with Hannibal about Will. So I love the way these three characters have just like connected from the last 2 episodes. You know, her talking to Hannibal about Will and Will bringing this new case to Kevin. It does it so well, and it immediately just reminded me of The Wire and how great that show is in like connecting different characters. It's a small world in the show.
Bear, wolf.
2 different.
Do bears and wolves hunt together?
You can train a bear to be a wolf, or a wolf to be a bear twin.
Oh.
And they will hunt together.
Interesting. Stay hidden, little guy.
I could train even you to do, Will.
Oh. Okay, Sensei.
That kind of friendship can keep you on your toes.
Animals, they have friendship, just like us. We're the same.
Interesting.
Try to remember that.
Interesting.
Don't blame the animals. Man is the only creature that kills to kill.
I love how everything has like multiple meanings. Who are we dealing with this week? Looking like Tony Stark over here. The person wears it. That's a helmet right there. Oh my god. They're about to f*** up date night. Wow. So he wears it like a suit. Oh, girl, don't fall. Gee. He wears it like a suit. I was right when I said Tony Stark. Dude, breaks the bones and everything. Do your thing, Will. Do your thing. Oh. What are you gonna see? Hannibal right there.
Kill.
Interesting.
It's not an animal.
Was a man.
It's a man who wants to be an animal.
Does he believe he's an animal?
Well, it's not what he believes, it's what he imagines. He wants to maul.
Mm.
He doesn't know them.
Go get a chew toy, man.
Meat to him. Prey.
This kind of psychosis doesn't just slip through the system. Somewhere, someone would have noticed this.
It is psychosis. He got inside of it somehow. Made a suit of it. He's an engineer. He knows how to build. Built his beast.
From scratch.
The way any animal thinks depends on limitations of mind and body. If we learn our limitations too soon, we never learn our power. Can you imagine tearing someone apart? Or would you prefer to use a gun? You set an event in motion with a gun, you don't complete it. You fantasized about killing me with your hands. Wouldn't that be more satisfying than pulling a trigger?
Yes.
When you sent a man to kill me, were you imagining killing me yourself? Living vicariously through him as if your hands tightened the noose around my neck? Or were you simply hiding?
Oof.
I wasn't hiding from anything the first time I tried to kill you.
You were hiding. Behind the gun. You must allow yourself to be intimate with your instincts, Will.
The closest comparative bite radius we could match to the victim's wounds is a cave bear. But a cave bear did not do this.
Mostly because they're vegetarian and have been extinct for 28,000 years.
How does something like this present?
Someone affected by this kind of species dysphoria typically has other conditions. Mood disorders, clinical depression, schizophrenia.
Typically.
All of it.
Your killer could have built a bridge between who he appears to be and what he now knows he's become. What he seeks is transformation.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Will Graham.
Years ago, I treated a patient who fits the profile, a teenage boy, who suffered from what I would describe as an identity disorder. He understood in that moment he was an animal born in the body of a man, behaving ways resembling animal behavior.
He was delusional.
Not necessarily.
Interesting.
What are his needs, Dr. Lector?
Savagery.
Hannibal came to visit? Of course Hannibal came to visit.
Hello, Randall.
Dr. Lector.
You will always be ruled by your fascination with teeth.
That's what you said to me when they brought me in your office the very first time.
Is that what I said?
Yeah. I was crying. I was dreading telling you what was wrong with me, and you made it easier.
He pushed him.
Therapist's life is equal parts counsel and curiosity. You set a patient on a path, but are left to wonder where that path will take them.
So he does this. So this is his thing. And just in this last 2 episodes, what other patients have we seen him have? Franklin. Yeah, he definitely didn't push Franklin. He want Franklin out of his office immediately. But yeah, with the lady who wants to kill her brother, with Will, and with this guy, of course Hannibal pushed them. His curiosity pushed them to explore their savagery, pun intended. Of course he would. And I bet now he's proud of the kid because the kid actually found a way to explore that savagery.
You've come so very far, Randall.
Long time since you treated me.
Which is why I wanted to talk to you about your wonderful progress. Just for a moment, privately. I've seen what you've done.
What have I done?
You bore screams. Like a sculpture bears dust from the beaten stone. That crying boy doesn't cling to you anymore. What clings to you now? What clings to your teeth?
God.
Ragged bits of scalp, trailing their tails of hair like comets.
Beautiful. They're looking for you.
I don't think I can stop.
I don't want you to. But they will find you, Randall. When they do, it's important you do exactly what I say.
I'm in shock sometimes at this. It's almost like Hannibal is just like planting seeds wherever he can find. And years later, he goes there to like reap what he sowed. The way this conversation just like fed his curiosity. Like the way he asked him like, what do you see now? Or like, however he put it, is like, give me an update. And this man went beautiful. The devil. Straight up.
Do exactly what I say.
And trying to protect him so he can see more, I'm guessing.
You wanted to speak to me?
Ah, Randall Tier. Special Agent Jack Crawford with the FBI. This is Will Graham. Did you put all that together?
Yes, I did.
Nice work. What is that?
That is a cave bear.
Put together a lot of cave bears, do you?
Yeah. Put them together, take them apart, put them back together again.
So you understand their mechanics and how they're engineered?
Oh, yeah, we understand a lot about cave bears. They're fossils.
Cave bear skull was used recently as a murder weapon.
Prehistoric jaws and claws are designed to do what they do best.
Victims are torn apart. Use the right tool for the job.
Well, look inside the skull and you'll find what the job is.
You have a history of trouble with things inside your head. Isn't that right, Mr. Tier?
Is that what this is about? You think I killed someone with a fossil?
Yes.
I had an identity disorder. The doctors told me the internal map of my body didn't match reality. Do you know what it's like when the skin you're wearing doesn't fit? I know who I am now, and I'm doing much better. I'm socializing, I take my medication, and I'm proof that mental illness is treatable.
Interesting. Hannibal prepped him really well for those questions, I bet. Who's this?
I don't know if you remember me, but I met you outside of Dr. Lecter's office.
I remember. How'd you find me?
Well, as it turns out, you are famous.
Freddy?
Not exactly anonymous yourself, Margot.
Did you, sneak a peek inside Dr. Lecter's calendar?
That is exactly what I did.
It's cold. Do you have any whiskey?
Did Hannibal put her up to this, or this is just her own curiosity?
What is the heir to the Verger meatpacking dynasty doing at my door?
Well, my brother's the heir, not me. I have the wrong parts, and the wrong proclivity for parts.
You didn't answer my question.
Straight to the point.
What do you think of Dr. Lecter's therapy?
Girl.
It depends what you're in therapy for.
Oh, I'm in therapy for all kinds of reasons. The Vergers slaughter 86,000 cattle a day and 36,000 pigs, depending on the season. But that's just the public carnage.
What's your private carnage?
I tried to kill my brother.
I assume he had it coming.
Did he ever? What's your private carnage?
Sure you want to know? Killing my therapist?
I tried to murder Dr. Lecter.
Did he have it coming?
Hell yeah.
What do you think?
I can't say that I know.
Neither can I.
We have some very similar issues. Though I I doubt that Dr. Lector gave you the same advice on murder that he gave me.
What's that?
He said, if at first you don't succeed, try again.
Pretty similar. I think Will just put something together. This is what I'm thinking, right? One, Will maybe just realized that he's not the only one Hannibal is kind of like driving to do the nasty, to do the crazy stuff. I think he just realized that. And secondly, in connection to the dude who wears the bear as a weapon, I think he also just realized that Hannibal might be doing the same thing to him. And here goes what I was talking about how the show connects different characters and storylines in such appealing ways, you know? Them having this bonding moment about their desires and their horrible psychologies in common.
I'm curious what would happen if your patients started comparing notes, Dr. Lecter.
Mm-hmm.
What would Randall Tier have to say to me?
What did Randall Tier say to you?
That he was much better now.
Mm-hmm.
You believe he's innocent?
I believe your therapy was successful.
Mm-hmm.
You can be persuasive. How many have there been?
Exactly. How many patients?
Like me.
Good question, Will.
Every patient is unique.
Your psychiatrist came to visit me at the hospital before my trial.
Dr. Dumoyer.
She told me she believed me. She knew there were others like me. Did you kill her?
No.
She was gone.
What do you think about when you think about killing?
He's asking all the questions today.
I think about God.
This power.
I collect church collapses. Did you see the recent one in Sicily? The facade fell on 65 grandmothers during a special mass. Was that evil? Was that God? If he's up there, he just loves it.
He just loves it.
Typhoid and swans. It all comes from the same place.
Does Randall Tier believe in God?
Perhaps you should have a more personal conversation with Mr. Tier and ask him what he believes.
And I bet at this point, Hannibal is just there sitting back being a proud teacher. You know, a proud coach, I should say, when you have like different members in your class or your team and you're proud of each one of them for their own unique reasons. This show is so good, and I love that throughout this episode or some part of this episode, my brain was kind of like riding the same wavelength as Will's brain, in the sense of like, this man is just sowing seeds in all these patients and coming back years later to like reap the reward. And I think Will obviously has been his magnum opus. His other patient might give him less of a high, but I love that. Like, I was also thinking that like, I mean, he's had his practice for years at this point. Of course, not all his patients have that thing in them that he's curious about. Obviously, we talked about Franklin and how he couldn't even wait to snap Franklin's neck, not even in an enjoyable way for him, just so Franklin could stop yapping. But it's like, I'm glad Will asked that question, how many of us? Because at this point, it could be dozens. So I think that confirms one of the questions I asked in season 1, like what is he after with Will? Is he just trying to coach Will to create a team? Or just like, yeah, I guess, because like this man is essentially creating freaking serial killers and just sending them into the world. So it makes sense why anytime he encounters any of the killer of the week, he also tries to push them, or he tries to like acquire about them, you know, the muralists, so many of them, like, because he's always so curious, like what makes them tick. He puts on a whole suit.
Solitude of what you do is to be respected, and I intend to honor that. I've only come to offer words of encouragement. You're becoming Randall, and this beast is your higher self. The bodies, voices, and wills are one. Revel in what you are.
Is that Will's house? This is what he meant when he said personal meeting with him. Not the dog. Not the dog, man. Go grab your piece, man. Go grab your gun. Yes, sir. Shotgun. Oh my God. I just have a thought that this is Hannibal's plan. Oh my God. This is Hannibal's plan. he wants them to encounter eeach other to see, again, the analogy of a coach and his players, or a teacher and his students. Probably wants two of his best students to like have some friendly competition. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's immediately where my brain went to. The same way he sent Will to Tobias, knowing that Will could have died, but he was testing Will. The same way he sent Will to Abel Gideon when Gideon was going to go kill Alana. If that's what's going on, he already got the dog. Okay. Buster. Please, Buster, be okay. Look at him. Pick up that shotgun, dog. That boy. Will, put Buster down. He's gonna be okay for a second. Focus. Does this dude run on all fours? Wow. Oh yeah. Let him come. Hey, don't forget Will is a hunter. Is he already in the house? Pop that. Pop him. Wow.
I'd say this makes us even. I sent someone to kill you.
You sent someone to kill me?
Someone to kill me. Even Steven.
Jesus. He's literally a very smart, intelligent, manipulative kid in the playground that will stop at nothing to construct the perfect toys to play with, the perfect things to enjoy his recess to the fullest. And that recess being his existence. He's gonna manipulate every single person to make that playground as enjoyable for him. That is crazy. Yeah, Will is gone, man. Like, Will didn't call the police, nothing. Took the body back to the house. Will is badass. This man went inside, tended to his dog, turned all the lights off. It's like, let's dance. Let's dance. Will Graham. Man, deciding to watch Hannibal was one of the best like decisions I made recently for the channel, dog. Like, it's been a long time too. We've been at Hannibal for months because it was fresh out Interview with the Vampire, and you know, all of you telling me after Interview with the Vampire that, yo, Frank, Hannibal is that. God, I can't wait to read the comments on this one, because yeah. Thank y'all for watching, man. I hope y'all are taking care of yourselves. Be good.